welcome back to the show. It's week 2. And if you don't think it's must win, well, you're wrong. The last 4 years, the 2022 Bengals were the only team that started 0-2 and made the playoffs. So yes, coach, there's such thing as must win week 2. And we're going to start with Commanders versus Broncos. Peyton basically promised the playoffs, but they lost to the Raiders. Russ threw for under 200 yards, and now they host the frisky Commanders. So, Nick, must win?
Yes, Wilds. It's must win. The teams we're talking about, it's a must win for the Broncos.
Got it.
They have to win. What is different about these Broncos if they lose this game? The answer is nothing. By the way, next week they're at Miami. They have 5 games remaining this year, against Buffalo, Detroit, Green Bay, New England, and 5 divisional games. And every team in the division owns them. They haven't beaten the Raiders in like 4 years. They haven't beaten the Chiefs since Obama was president. If you start the year off losing to the Raiders and then you lose to the Commanders, season's over. Flatly, season's over. They can't come back from it.
Look, you want to win.
It's a must win.
You need to win, but a must win. Look, the 0-2 stat, I get it, Wilds, but they're playing 17 games now. All right, so that does give you a little more leeway. And look at how many of we think playoff teams in the AFC lost. Obviously, the Jets are not what we thought they were going to be without Aaron Rodgers. So this would be a bad loss because momentum, it would be against Sean Payton. But I would not say must win.
Just real quick before you go, Coach, Wilds, I don't think everyone totally understands the conceit of this segment. If you are on must-win weekend and you lose, you're done. Yeah, and by the way, it's not.
I disagree.
It is, but with just the obvious fact, if they lose, they're done. And by the way, it's not all 0-1 teams. There are certain teams, the Vikings, for instance, not all must-win weekend because they're playing the Eagles this week. But if you were 0-1 with a bad loss and then you have a bad week 2 loss, you're cooked.
Yeah. With Denver, I don't really see the long-term success here this season.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see this as going deep into the playoffs or even, arguably making the playoffs. What they need to do is they need to see some progress out of Russell Wilson. They need to see some progress out of the offense. To me, this is a team that hasn't improved that much in the offseason. So if they can just show some improvement in the most important guy, that would be a win for them.
Okay, official verdict.
Must win with me.
Must win.
That was 2-1.
Wilds is the one adjudicating.
Giants versus Cardinals, not an exaggeration. The Giants had one of the worst losses in NFL history, 40-0. Next up, in Arizona, who kept it sneaky close with the frisky Commanders. Yeah. Must win?
Yes! Yes! The Giants, it's a must-win. They play San Francisco on Thursday. That's brutal, by the way, for the Giants. They'd be on Thursday against the San Francisco 49ers. Then they have Seattle at Miami and at Buffalo. If they don't win this week, they could be 0-6. I believe they're going to win this week, and I believe that Dable's going to have them ready. But if you start the year, Brew, by getting 40-0, and then you lose to Josh Dobbs and Jonathan Gannon in week 2, season's over. All the good vibes and the good feelings from last year, you mentioned they ended last year on a tough note already despite the playoff win. I like Dable. I think they're going to win. They're going to be a very popular survivor pick. If they lose, season over.
You got this one right.
Thank you.
Okay, because Arizona, we think, is the worst team in the league. We think they're playing for Caleb Williams.
That's right.
And they beat you? Now, they look pretty surprisingly. They almost won last week. But, yeah, you can't lose this if you're the Giants. Obviously, they're in maybe the toughest division, definitely the toughest division, I'd say, in the NFC. So, yeah, they can't afford to lose this game.
Yeah, I've never been a big must-win guy, but I'll put this one as a must-win.
Yes! Oh, we got him!
And for all the reasons ever said, Josh Dobbs has been there a month. He started 3 games. He's never won a game. You just got blown out 40-0. Your schedule is brutal. This is the window. This is the opportunity to get so many things back on track and ideally gain some momentum going into a really tough game for the following Thursday.
Okay, next up, Justin Fields and the Bears. MVP candidate in some corners.
Yeah.
Even though he's won 5 games and 26 starts. Bears head into Tampa Bay to face that guy, Baker, who stole your signs of Vikings. Nice try. Be a little bit slicker there. So, Nick, everybody wants to know. Must win?
Yeah. Yes.
You got to find a way to. There's got to be a better way to get into this.
If Chicago loses, their season is over. The Packers have owned them for 30 years. They finally thought they were going to be out from under the yoke of the Packers because it wasn't Favre, it wasn't Rodgers, and Jordan Love hangs 38 on them. You now are playing a Tampa team that, while some smart analysts believe had a chance, other people thought they were going to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Also, where was Justin Fields in Week 1? There were 2 quarterback-driven designed runs. There were 2 downfield passes. I know talk radio in Chicago this week is at the throat of Luke Getsy already. Shout out to the afternoons on the Score. I was streaming them and listening to them already being done with their offensive coordinator because did you take the Justin Fields out of Justin Fields? Or was it the Packers motivated, no Rodgers, a little I'll prove something to you, and the Bears get back on track this weekend? But if they lose this weekend, Brew, to Tampa and fall to 0-2, anybody that thought, hey, the Bears could be a wild card team, they're cooked. They're done. And the defense, which you spent all that money on, generated 1 sack. So, yeah, it's a must-win.
Not a must-win. Not a must-win. You want to win, of course, but not a must-win.
Even against the terrible Baker Mayfield?
The division is shaky. I got Detroit. But, look, you got Dallas, San Francisco, Detroit, Philadelphia, and whoever wins the NFC South. There's going to be 2 spots open for a bunch of mediocre
like the Bucs
teams
if they go to 2-0.
The Bucs, but I'm just saying, I will not bury the Bears like I'll bury the Giants if they lose this game.
I don't know if this is a must-win because they haven't won in 11 games. It would be fantastic if they won. They should probably win. They need similar to what we talked about with the Giants. They need to see some progress. There's so much put into this in the offseason. They have got to see so much more than they saw the previous week.
They've got to win.
They've got to win.
It's a must win.
If you believe the Bears, let me ask you this.
I think they'll probably be popping champagne if they do win after 11 games.
Do you think the Bears can make the playoffs if they lose this weekend?
I think there's a 7% chance, like there has been.
No, 7% chance for everyone, but not for the Bears. We have 12-game winning.
We don't think these teams are making the playoffs anyway.
Well, the Giants were supposed to make the playoffs. Broncos are supposed to make the playoffs. Come on, people thought it.
All right, finally, the Colts, who had Jacksonville on upset alert deep into the game. They head to Houston in a battle.
It was a weird game
of rookie quarterbacks.
Lost by double digits.
Yeah, but it was close. It felt close. When Gardner came in there,
they were up with 6 minutes
what was going
left.
on?
They lost by double digits.
They were leading with 6 minutes left.
Must win?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, now I know some of you are saying the Colts are not playing for anything anyway. I don't know that that's true. I think the Colts, because of that division, if you thought, wait, they just went toe-to-toe with Jacksonville, the heavy favorites in that division, with Tennessee looking terrible, and now you play the Texans. If you want to have any hope that when you play Jacksonville again, can beat them, can compete for the division, with Anthony Richardson looking better than anyone expected in Week 1, and maybe Jonathan Taylor coming back, then of course they have to win this game to be a team that we cannot just flatly dismiss. If they lose to the Texans, then you just flatly dismiss them. So, yeah.
Okay, first of all, Tennessee, they gave a nasty bunch from New Orleans all in warning.
Okay.
So I don't think they look bad. I think they look like they're going to be in the hunt.
You thought
in that
Tennessee
division.
looked good?
New Orleans is legit.
Okay.
And they almost won that game. But no, this is not a must win. First of all, it's all about the rookie quarterback. And he looks surprisingly good. And he's going to get better. I would imagine. I know rookies have had good first games and then gone downhill, but I think he's going to get better. And then if you bring back Jonathan Taylor, if he does play for you, you're going to get better as a team. So, no. In that division again, seems like that division.
0-2 losing to the Jags and the Texans, you can't win the division.
Nah, they still in the hunt.
In the hunt?
I mean, look, I don't have them making the playoffs anyway. But for the sake of argument, no, not a must win.
Yeah, I don't know if either of these teams are in the hunt for anything.
They're as in the hunt as
you're hoping that your rookie quarterback plays better than their rookie quarterback, but both these teams are kind of in the same mix. I don't think that either one is fighting for any shot at the division or any shot at the playoffs.
I say not must win on that one.
Wilds.
What?
You remember last week when I just kind of threw at the very end of a segment. I was like, hey, these are the must-win teams. We did a full screen. It was like 45 seconds, and you were like, we should turn that into a whole segment.
Yeah.
You were wrong. Just so you know. We tried it out. Here's the 4 teams. We could have just done this. Show us the 4 teams. Here are the 4 must-win teams. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Comments. Lori, put this on
I'm
the
just telling you right now, it doesn't work. It was a nice little segment kicker.
Might be
I
good
don't know
later
if
in the
we needed to
season.
build out all this real
It's the
estate
D
for
block.
this. I'm just letting you know.
The D block is off Broadway. E block is Broadway.
You know why? I'm kind of with Nick. I'm kind of
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, this was a bad idea.
Do better then.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.